Good morning to everyone. Annyeonghaseyo. That's the only word I learned this week. So thank you so much for this amazing opportunity. I'm very much honored to be standing in front of you to talk about the most important, to share with you the most important story of Bhikṣuṇī Ordination in Bhutan in 2022. First of all, I would like to thank all the Sakyadhita organizers and the hosts, the Venerable Karmalekshit Lhamo and the others here, the president and everyone. I cannot say everyone's name. This had been such an amazing platform that you have created in the lives of women coming from all over the world on a shared platform to talk about and empower each other. And this really, the women, I have attended several of this, and I couldn't have made it this time, but I tried my best and I found a way to be here today to gather the wonderful women's energy and share this story that otherwise I wouldn't have been able to. So thank you for the opportunity. And I always wanted to, let me take this opportunity and thank the Sakyadhita founders, because this had been such a well-thought, planned for women, especially for Buddhist women, who have otherwise had no opportunity or platform to empower and share each other's concerns and the knowledge and everything. You have made this possible. Our Her Majesty the Queen Mother, the patron of the Bhutan Nuns Foundation, always says, we might be gone, we will not be there forever in this world, but our actions will remain. So your actions, your positive thoughts, and what you have created will remain for the women practitioners all over the world. So thank you for that. So to speak about the foundation, I thought why three of us are speaking on the same topic, people might think, but I'm speaking from a foundation's point of view, what it took us to get here. Our Bhutan Nuns Foundation was founded in 2009 under the patronage of Her Majesty the Queen Mother, Sri Nyangden Wangchuk, and I had been working since then. Right after I finished my PhD degree from the United States in 2009, I came right on and started this foundation under her guidance. And it's been more than a decade, but we are very happy and proud to share with you that, I think after the Bhikṣuṇī Ordination, we felt that we have achieved something in our lifetime, which some of our nuns have thought and said. We had been praying that we may be reborn as a male figure in next life and born to be a monk so that we can get bhikkhu ordination. That's what they said. And then they were so pleased that in this lifetime, this was possible for our nuns in at least representing Himalayan region. So this had been very important for us to be representing and coming to Korea to participate this, because I have seen in Korea that your education level for the bhikkhunis, your status has been elevated, had been achieved, and even in every sense. So I have seen people presenting, musicians presenting wonderful papers and speaking about your own organizations. It was amazing, but our nuns are just learning from you, and we need a lot of blessings. And so it was such an amazing thing to come and so thank you. And So in 2009 we started, and then 2011 we had a national conference in Bhutan. Our nuns, that time after we have started the foundation, our nunneries, there were about 21 nunneries in the country. Our country is small, but yet it's in the mountainous countries. One end of the country to get to the other end is much difficult, especially for the rural areas nunneries. So we have created a national conference in 2011, right after two years after we started the foundation, and that's when our nuns have learned that there are nunneries like theirs in another part of the country. So it's to bring them together and solidarity, have the solidarity. And then in 2014, that's when our Venerable Karma Lekshi Tsomo and Jitsenma Tenzin Palmo also attended. And 2014, we did an International Buddhist Nuns Conference, which was very small compared to yours. So that's when we had the conversation, about the Gelongma, about the bhikkhunis, which we, otherwise this conversation is never there. If it is not there, then it's the end of the story. You can't make it happen. So that's what we believed. And then from there on, we had conversations, we had dialogues, and then Her Majesty and we had planted a seed from that conversation, and we had been thinking about it. So it's been about 10 years. And then we went and finally approached our Sangha-Raja, who is called J. Khenpo, the highest abbot of Bhutan in the Buddhist Vajrayana sect. And then with his approval, okay, I am forgetting to do the slides. So anyway, this is how we have ordained 142 nuns on within the 3 days, June 21st, 2022. So yeah. So without the support of His Majesty the King, it happened exactly. This is the conversation, how it happened in the eastern part of Bhutan with J. Khenpo to your right, and the left is His Majesty the current king. You know, behind the statues are of, in Tibet, in 8th century, there was, to your right is the Chiji Chisong Dujin, and then Guru Padma Sambhawa, the teacher, and then the Shantarakshita, the Khenchen Bodhisattva, it's called in Tibetan. So 3 of them had brought this Bhikkhu ordination first time to Tibet. So something like that, in that ambience, His Majesty and our Sangha-Raja, J. Khenpo, had a conversation exactly like in the 8th century when they had the conversation about bhikkhus. So this was so auspicious. And so to begin with, the background, how we needed to start from scratch. You can see we were even, we had been having conversations where to do, how to do it. People have said, we can do it in the zongs, and then all these glamorous places. But our Her Majesty said, no, we have to find a place where there is sanctity. It doesn't matter if it is a forest, jungle. Because we cleared, 2 of us went and cleared. You can see Her Majesty clearing the forest. So we went at the spot where it was founded by, we believe that it was founded by a Gelongma Palmo, an Indian princess from Kashmir in 10th and 11th century, who first was Gelongma from India and came and settled in Bhutan, and she's the founder of this place. So later on, our 2 bhikkhunis will show you the pictures. So this, in the beginning, I'm going to share with you. So we prepared the stage and tents and everything in the forest. Like I imagine the Buddha's time, they did it like that in an open lawn. So Her Majesty, the Queen Mother, receiving on the 19th, we had all the, presenting the robes to the nuns and giving the alms bowls, everything for preparation of the 21st June. 21st June is also recognized as a National Nuns Day in Bhutan. So, and on the honor of Her Majesty's birthday, so many auspicious things happen on this day that we have recognized as a Nuns Day from the Bhutan government itself. So we get a lot of support now from our government, from our Sangha members, and we are very lucky to have that. So, yeah. So that's, and it was such an auspicious day. There was rainbows all over the, around the sun. And I always used to think, you know, rainbows appear anywhere, and after rain, there is always rainbow around the sun. But this time, I really felt it was showered for us. And we were really, I mean, they will show you in the later part of the stage. And, you know, right now, to talk to you, it feels like it just happened. It was a miracle. It was not a miracle. We went through a lot of stress. There was a lot of criticisms, not within the country itself. We got a lot of support from our Sangha members, and because His Holiness and King had also accepted, there was a lot of respect to that. But from outside, I got 10 pages of letters saying that you got to stop this after finishing. So thank you so much. So then I got from people from outside, the monks, ex-monks, have written to me letters saying that you can't do this, you must stop it now. So 10 pages of letters. So it was in the post. Thank God I'm not that timely. I checked the post only after everything was finished, so thank God for that. So anyway, thank you all so much. I will leave it up to our bhikkhunis to share their part of the experience of receiving. It was an amazing experience for us. From here on, we are going to do maybe, because another thing was, the lot of stress was there because we couldn't we need funds for organizing such a thing to bring the nuns from throughout the country, and also from India. Some of the nuns participated from Jitsenma's nunnery, and then other Ladakh from Drukchen Rinpoche's nunneries. But we couldn't bring them because, couldn't support them financially because of, we couldn't raise funds openly. Otherwise, you know, it might jinx it. We didn't want to jinx it before we start anything. So we did it hush-hush. Thank you to Jitsenma and Mei Ling for supporting. So they understood our hush-hush, and they supported us quietly, and that made a huge difference. We had a beautiful video to play if we had time, but I don't think three of us sharing time makes it shorter. We can, if there is an opportunity, we can play the video somewhere downstairs. It's beautiful, so you will see in action. So thank you so much. That was what we went through, but it's all over. Now we will do it every other year or so. So please send your, especially for Himalayan region nuns to receive. So we will now host it openly. We'll have a blast. Thank you so much.
I don't think I need this foot support. All right, so I think you can see what an amazing woman Dr. Tashi Zangmo is, huh? Yeah, so I'm going to continue the story now in terms of the process of the ordination in Bhutan last year. So here we have the very first event of being offered a new ordination name by His Holiness the J Khenpo. You can see him in the yellow robes in the center there. And also we were given our new robes, the Bhikṣuṇī robes, which were made by His Holiness's personal tailor for all of us. And we were also given the alms bowl and various other things. And I can say that at this point, excitement was building. I think when we received these clear signs of the Bhikṣuṇī ordination coming, we began to be quite excited, like something very special is happening here, and many opportunities are now going to be possible that weren't possible before. This, I think, was how we were all feeling at that time. So this was on the 19th of June. And here we have Her Majesty, the great supporter of Bhutan nuns, together with us all here. And this gives you an idea of the setting now. So the temple here is the one that Dr. Tashi referred to, which honors Gelongma Pema, who practiced in Bhutan. And there at the top of the mountain, you can see Taksang, this very famous pilgrimage site, sometimes called Tiger's Nest. This all happened in this very sacred place with this connection back to Gelongma Pema. So here we are carrying all our new accessories down at the end of the day, there down to our tents in the forest. On the next day, after that, we all helped each other shave our heads in the middle of the forest. And we continued to prepare for the ceremony because there were many things that we had to learn, in fact. We had to learn all about the prostrations we had to do and how to treat our new robes and what would be expected of us at the ceremony. And so we did quite a lot of training in the run-up to the 21st of June, getting ready. And it was really wonderful, if you can imagine 142 nuns, all in little tents in the forest, all getting ready, talking and getting ready for this great event. So then I think our next slide is the first day. So this was June the 21st, the first day of the 3 days of the formal ordination process. And as Dr. Tashi has mentioned, it was quite extraordinary. The night before, it had rained all night, and the tents were very noisy all night with the rain. And then suddenly in the morning, it really cleared. And as Jekempo arrived with the horns and the sounds welcoming his arrival to do the first day of ordination, this beautiful rainbow came around the sun. And you really couldn't, if you hadn't seen it with your own eyes, you just couldn't believe it was really there. It's amazing. Yeah, I think that was the sign. We just all knew something extraordinary was taking place, and that the blessings of Jekempo were immense. For those of you that haven't been to Bhutan yet, then you have an enormous tanka here of the Buddha. This was an embroidered tanka, very, very beautiful. And on the right of the picture, you can see the ceremonial tents which were used during the ordination ceremony. In fact, we had a rainbow on the second day as well, but we didn't put a picture of that in. So here we have an extraordinary picture of His Majesty the Fourth King, who came to visit and bless and support all of those taking part in the Bhikṣuṇī Ordination. And it's quite rare to see His Majesty the Fourth King. And so we felt very honored by that. And actually, he made a very wonderful speech to all of us. And he specifically said, from now on, there will be no difference between male and female practitioners in Bhutan. And when he said those words, it just felt wonderful to hear the Fourth King give that guidance to his country and to us. It was very amazing. You can see, obviously, he's talking to Jekempo. Her Majesty is here. You can just see her back. And some of the preceptors involved in the ceremony are just by the tent there. This red carpet for Jekempo, actually they made beautiful, with colored rice, they made beautiful diagrams on this carpet for the first day, which is lovely to see. So because there was 142 nuns, and we had to take the ordination in groups of 3. We had to be divided into 3 batches. This is a long process that actually we were going through. So here what you have is the first group of 54 nuns with Her Majesty, on the first day, on June the 21st. So let me show you a little bit of the ordination ceremony. So here we have 3 Vajra siblings brought together to take the ordination together. And you can see that the first part of the ordination is to do with the blessings of the Bhikṣuṇī robes and the connection between the practitioner and His Holiness the preceptor there. And there were really 3 main parts to the ordination. There was this, and then there's you come later in a group of 3, when the actual vows are placed in your mind stream, and at that point you become the Bhikṣuṇī. And there's also a ceremony for clearing any obstacles, any conditions which might be a problem for this ordination. So there were 3 elements. This is the first. And for me this was quite terrifying because it's in Tibetan. We're speaking in Tibetan, and J. Khenpo says some words, and you don't know what he's going to say, and then you have to repeat them back to him. So for me, born in England, this is a little bit scary, but I hope it went all right. So this is a sacred photograph, really. We have the permission of J. Khenpo to share this photograph with you today. But you can see how intimate it was. You know, J. Khenpo is just here, so close. It's amazing. So this is a photograph showing the first batch of nuns here in their Bhikṣuṇī robes. So once they'd become full Bhikṣunis, then they followed not eating after midday and not eating solid food in the evening. And I can remember walking down to the eating tent, and this group of Bhikṣunis was there in their new robes, just like a golden gathering. And I was really shocked because I've never seen females in Bhutan look like this. It was really, just to see them sitting there, completed as Bhikṣunis, was extraordinary. I was in the second batch, so I could still have supper that evening, luckily enough. So through the course of these 3 days, 3 batches of 142 nuns, each had this Bhikṣuṇī vow planted in their mind stream, and we were all given the exact time of our ordination. So I became a Bhikṣuṇī at 3:22 on the 22nd of June, 2022. So mine's really easy to remember. And we share that time with the other 2 Vajra siblings that we took ordination with. We all have that exact same time to share. So once it was all completed, then we walked forth, led by His Holiness the J. Khenpo and His Eminence the Dorje. You can see there in the main picture here. This is His Eminence the Dorje. And we all walked forth with our arms bowed, which is, it was a wonderful event. And then we gathered to make that photograph that you saw at the very beginning of the presentation. So at the end, after that, His Holiness the J. Khenpo spoke about his brave decision to allow this to happen in Bhutan, and all the conditions being there to allow this to happen. And this was a very moving speech. Some nuns near me shed a few tears hearing his words. And so we just wrote a short summary here for you. It will be on the screen, and I'll also read it out. So these are the words of His Holiness the J. Khenpo. I would like to offer a brief background about the Bhikṣuṇī ordination to the gathering here. Over 140 women who are the embodiment of wisdom have today received the full ordination of Bhikṣuṇī. It is a historic moment and a progressive step we have taken in tune with the changing times. This is also a way of fulfilling the noble wishes of His Majesty Jigme Kesa Namgyel Wangchuk and Her Majesty the Queen Mother Gyalgyam Serang Yangdun Wangchuk. Over 2,500 years ago, the Bhikṣuṇī community flourished in India, but the Bhikṣuṇī community could not go to Tibet when the Buddha Dharma spread there. Thus, it was widely claimed that the transmission of the Bhikṣuṇī ordination did not exist in Tibet. Consequently, some people who held this view thought that the women did not have the opportunity to obtain the full ordination of Bhikṣuṇī, as if it were a fire which had been extinguished or water which had dried up. Such a view, I think, is not correct. And he added that he had thought for a long time about this ordination, and that he felt that the Buddhas in his shrine, when he consulted with them whether to do it or not, they smiled at him. And he said that he felt if the Buddha was here today, he would fully approve this decision. So these words were very heartening for us to hear. And I think we have to honor the great courage of Bhutan, His Majesty, and the Je Khenpo in this extraordinary decision that they took. Finally, just a personal photo of my heroine, who came and was part of the ceremony. And this is just me feeling overwhelmed with joy that Jetsuma Tenzin Palmo could be there, and that the Je Khenpo honored her in a ceremony and spoke of her as such an example of determined female accomplishment. And it was just wonderful to have you there. Yeah. So on that note, I'm going to hand over to Gelongma Namgyel to continue the story.
Okay, my two narrators have narrated the story so beautifully. I don't know how I will end it up, but I will try my best. So the Bhikṣuṇī Sangha was established by 24th June. So even his Chapji said that now the Bhutan has become the central land. Now we have the fourfold community, the Bhikṣu, Bhikṣuṇī, Upasaka, Upasika. And I'm so fortunate to be among the one who received the Bhikṣuṇī ordination during that time. So we can see from the photo that the fourfold community existed there. The Bhikṣu, the Khenpos, the Bhikṣunis, even the Upasaka and Upasika sitting. So it was at the end of the Bhikṣuṇī ordination that we, the Bhikṣunis, offered our appreciation and our kind token to the Je Khenpo, Her Majesty, and the Khenpos who have given us the ordination. And it was something that we can offer very little to them as our appreciation. So this is our Dr. Tashi giving a word of thanks to everyone who participate and to the nuns who come from India to participate. So as I'm an organizer there, I just want to say a little bit how challenging it was to having a nuns from everywhere. Because to give the ordination, we have been talking for years. But because of COVID, we could not do anything more. But when it was able to give the ordination, the situation of COVID was much better in Bhutan. So His Holiness said that we can give to more than 100 or like 200 nuns. So again, we have to think over again. So there's a lot of nuns coming forward to get the ordination, but there's a lot of doubt also. They say, oh, if I take the Bhikṣuṇī ordination, there's a lot of precept to take. How can I handle that? The people will criticize us, and a lot of blah, blah, blah is coming. And so I have to answer every time. It doesn't mean like that. I know when something is new, always people say something good and bad. It is upon you what to take. So, it's like teaching back them, even I don't know anything on the precept, but I have to make sure them, I have to give them a confidence before they take the ordination. That's where, actually we hope like we will have like more than 200 nuns, but now our Bhutan nuns also, they want to take the Bhikṣuṇī ordination. At first everyone was a little afraid, they have a lot of doubt what to do. Oh, may I take, may I not take? But after seeing the fruitful of this Bhikṣuṇī ordination and how the people are giving them, regards and respect, now the people are coming forward to take the ordination, which is very proud for both the Bhutan Nuns Foundation and the Zhungda Sang, and even for the sponsor and even for the Chapje, the Jaikempo. I always remember when Dr. Tashi and I went to see him often, he said that someday people will come forward for the ordination. That time you no need to worry. They will come themselves to, can I have an ordination? Can I have a Bhikṣuṇī ordination? I'm thinking it is coming true now. So this is the day 4. On the day 3rd, our tents, before there was a tent where Jaikempo and we are having our Bhikṣuṇī ordination, everything was removed and only we were left. But on the day 4, we are getting ready to go for the alms. Actually, it was not in our agenda before, but during our ordination time, we had decided if we go for the alms, it will be very nice because we have never done it before. Plus, it's something that we are following the path of Buddha. So before we going with Her Majesty, we are doing auspicious prayer so that it can go well. Plus, we have never done before also. Oh, okay. The receiving the alms. Also, all the nuns were in the golden robes. The city was filled. The town was filled with the golden robes. Everywhere where the Bhikṣuṇī going for the alms, and people are waiting to give us the alms. It was so beautiful and it was so moving. I have been a nun for 2 decades and I have never gone for alms like that. I've heard in the in the Thailand and other part of the country, they used to go for the alms, but in Bhutan, we never used to go, but this was a very, very very good experience for everyone. We just go around for the alms. And we receive a lot of alms also. And whatever we receive, we donate to the school so they can distribute within the students. So we had a lunch in the alms bowl during that time because everything we want to practice as we are living during the Buddha time. So we offer a marriage prayer in Paro. After receiving the alms, we just all sit there calmly, and the people began to prostrate. And even on the way also, the ladies and the all people are prostrating and they are crying a lot. And even we all are crying because it was such a moving. I have always seen in the movie that with the Buddha, the Bhikshu used to go for the alms, but I have never seen the Bhikṣuṇī going for alms. And that was a story actually, such a beautiful story. When I think of that, it always gave a tears on my eyes so we gave a merit for everyone who have contributed to this beautiful moment. So just recently, just 1 month before, I do some interview with ladies who have given us the alms. Can you tell me the feelings during that time? And they said that it was so moving. Are you going to do again? Then we say, I think we have to think it forward. But maybe in the future, I'm sure we can do again, going around for the alms. And they say, we will love to give that time. We just give you only little money and little things because we don't know what to prepare. But in the next time, if you do this type of Bhikṣuṇī alms, we will love to give you anything. We will love to offer you. That's from the public. I just done an interview 1 month before, and it was such a mind-blowing from their side on us. So after 1 month, again Dr. Tashi and we went to see the the J Kempo, and we request him, can we have a Vinayana workshop for a few days? And he said, it's excellent, you should go forward. So then we have a group chat in the WeChat. We just circulate the letter that in a few days we will have a Vinaya workshop for 3 days. I know it will not finish in 3 days, but so we can do the only important things, not everything. So in the 3 days, the 3 campers from monastic body came us, and they give us the important things on the 364 verbs or the rules of the Bhikṣuṇī, and that time a lot of doubts which we have was solved, but still we need more workshops to help, because by one workshop it is not easy. And I just want to request to my Bhikṣuṇī friends who are here to take this message back to the Bhutan. Now we have a Bhikṣuṇī ordination, and now we have access to go for the Vinaya scripture. So if you can do some research on the Vinaya scripture, it will be a very good for our coming Bhikṣuṇī nuns so we can teach them, we can help with everything. Okay, so if you can do some research, it will be very nice. Yeah. So there's a lot of 364 verbs. I know it is difficult, but in this 21st century to take, but Jay told me that if you can take care of that 8 downfalls, it is much than anything. Then other race, I think it will be very difficult. If you can't touch the money, if you can't go anywhere alone, I think it is very difficult in this life. So you can take care of the 8 downfalls more than other things. Yeah, if you can take everything, it's good, but it's very difficult. I know for me, as a worker, working in the office, it's very difficult to follow all the 364 rules. So the summer retreat at the respected nunnery was held later. So before we used to see only the Bhikshu doing the summer retreat, not the Bhikṣuṇī. But after giving the Bhikṣuṇī ordination, the summer retreat at the respected nunnery was held. It was such a moving for the local people and even for the nuns. So it was an intensive 45 days, and I'm sure my Bhikṣuṇī friends have a lot of experience to share with you all. Yeah, so these are the photos of the summer retreat. So anyway, thank you so much, and I always thanks everyone who support for our Bhikṣuṇī ordination. So actually the Bhutan Nuns Foundation I can say we have done a lot. We are only with the 4 staff, including Dr. Tashi, and actually we are doing a lot. It doesn't mean I want to say that we are doing, but we are trying our best to reach to the unreached and to bring the new things. So I can say in these 10 years, the Bhutan Nuns Foundation most biggest achievement is to have a Bhikṣuṇī ordination in the country. Actually, we make a history in our country. Thanks to everyone. Thanks.